Good day. My name is Ayomide Oni, Head of Sales and Marketing for Livestock 247 Services Limited. And today I'll be talking on separating the wheat from the chaff, identifying true change makers in the livestock industry. So it's no news that currently we are having the Ministry of Livestock Development. And in fact, the pioneer minister of that ministry has already been chosen by the president. And the reason why the ministry came on board in the first place is the fact that there has been a lot of issues with respect to the livestock sector in Nigeria. And for a sector that holds so much potential, why is it achieving so little? So that was the intent and purpose of the creation of the livestock ministry. Like other parts of the world, the livestock actually contributes a lot to their gross domestic product. It employs millions of people and generates billions of dollars. But that is not the case for Nigeria. And it is with high hopes that the new Ministry of Livestock Development will help accelerate the needed development within that sector. I liken the current Nigerian situation with respect to the livestock industry to the gold rush in the early 20th century in America. And what that means is that the opportunity is there now, and you see a lot of players coming in. And what that can lead to is a lot of disadvantages because a lot of people that are not familiar with the industry, with the socioeconomic characteristics, attributes of the various stakeholders can come into that sphere and have access to resources that are necessarily to, jumpstart development within the sector and mismanage some of these resources. At the end of the day, we might likely be back to square one. And it will be so sad, or it will be a disservice to the existing livestock players who have labored through thick and thin over the years trying to make things happen despite the fact that they don't have enough resources. So it's quite already we are seeing them assemble within the industry, and that is creating all kinds of bottlenecks. We can even leverage it down that to the current the building is under construction, but yet from the stakeholder meetings that we are beginning to visit, we see a lot of strange new faces, and it is our hope that the Ministry of Livestock Development is able to separate serious-minded organizations, serious-minded companies who have been with the livestock industry for years from those that are opportunists and those that just want to come and reap where they did not sow. Notable mentions with respect to the people that have, the valuable players in the industry that must be partnered with. They include people like Sahel Consulting, the various Mexico Food and Agric Organization, IITA, GIZ, USAID, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, companies like Allow, companies like Sebore Farms, companies like IDL in Jos, companies like L&Z in Kano. These are people that have stayed with us through thick and thin. And now that the ministry is coming on board, their partnership is quite valuable. Not only just because of what they are capable of doing, but also because they have the necessary data with respect to livestock production. They've mapped our environment. They know the pain point. They've interacted with all the players from the producers, the farmers, the processors, the marketing. They've been to the market front. They understand the values, the challenges, and which is why even the World Bank recently assisted us with the L-Press, which is a $500 million intervention with respect to livestock. So I believe that all these actions, all these things that have happened in the past 1, 2, 3 years, they are not a mistake, but it's a rallying cry onto the potential that livestock production holds in Nigeria. Now, let's talk about the pitfalls, which I named the shaft in the title of this conversation. And I'll start with people that don't have pedigree. When the Ministry of Livestock Development is trying to, recruit partners, recruit project executors, they must be mindful that people must come up with their antecedents. It must be solid. There must be people that must have been seen to have worked within the livestock industry. So basically, there should be a track record of any organization that they are looking at partnering with respect to technology, with respect to vaccine production, with respect to any aspect of the value chain. Antecedents is important. There must be pedigree. That's one. The second thing you have to look out for is that we sometimes are quite eager to want to be world standard. That journey will not take it. We must refuse to be tempted by quick fixes. Fixes that just come solve temporary solution, while the deep-rooted issues like poverty continue to lay hold to it. So if you build on such structure, with all due respect, that is going to fail. So care must be taken to ensure that whatever solutions we are looking at implementing, or whatever company is coming on board, they must acknowledge that they understand the rudiments. They know our farmers. They know the pain point. They know the terrain. When we talk about the farmer aider crisis, they are not seeing it as a third party. They are seeing it as they are also involved. So that is the second point I want to be noted. The third point I want to be noted, I mentioned this earlier, is when people take on board developed solutions, solutions from developed countries, they bring it to Nigeria and want it to work. With all due respect, they will be expensive and they won't be fit. They are not tailored for our environment. So we have many homegrown solutions. There is no aspect of Nigerian value chain now that if it have access to the government support, government policy. Look at our laws. Many of our laws with respect to livestock production are quite archaic, save for the veterinary law that came on board 2 years ago, the veterinary law of Nigeria, which talks about how the Department of Veterinary Medicine is actually in charge of veterinary administration or animal production, livestock production in Nigeria. So it is important to go back and look at those laws. You look at the meat law of Nigeria. What day is it? The various state legislation might have one or two laws that might be archaic, that is stopping or mitigating the full potential of some of these schemes, intervention, and projects that we're about to embark on. So we must be careful that we don't just bring in on board all these foreign solutions, blockchain, AI, and all of that, without people who actually have been on ground, have gotten their boots dirty, and can relate with many challenges that we need to move away from. So, and the fourth one for me has to do with willpower. More than ever, resilience matter. And if you ask many of the stakeholders in northeastern Nigeria, in the face of climate change, in the face of declining resources, in the face of the current global crisis, energy crisis, food crisis, it is important that many of the solutions that the Ministry of Livestock Development must begin to think of should be resilient. They shouldn't just be beautiful on paper. There should be things that we know can stand the test of time and move beyond the pages of a book into actual results, actual impact. And the last one also is regulation. If we get regulation right in the domestic markets, exports will not be a problem. What do I mean by that? So while we are targeting exports, if we decide that every output, milk or meat coming out is ASIP certified, is traceable, is admit all manner of approvals for international and local agency, NAFDAC approved, SON, MANCAP approved. If we have all those approvals in place, it makes export easy, and our people are also better for it. So in all of this, what I'm just trying to say is that the Ministry of Livestock Development must shine its eyes to ensure that the people that they are partnering with are not just people that woke up yesterday with no experience, with no pedigree, with no antecedents, with no impact, and we just partner with them and to lead to the stabilization of whatever objective, whatever goal that it has set out to actually achieve. So I believe the Ministry of Livestock Development holds a lot of promise. There's a lot of progress it can make. The objectives, the goals that it has set out are quite achievable if it decides to focus on homegrown solutions with the many proven players like, of course, Livestock 247 has been around for a while now, and the many other organizations who have toiled day and night, sun in the rain, labored even when there was no Ministry of Livestock Development. Those are the type of people that should partner with. I believe at the end of the day, success will be on the horizon.